good. Come on up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. So we'll start in a nice cross-legged seat. Let your knees just fall down in space. And the way you can do that is by sitting up on a bolster or on a block. And then go ahead right away and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Exhale all your air. Really good. Do that again. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale completely. Let your chin drift down towards your chest. Allow your shoulders to soften. And for these first few moments, can you just start to tune in to you? How are you? How are you doing physically, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually? One minute in silence just to reflect. How are you? And now bring your hands to heart center. Take that information you just learned about yourself. How are you? And now, can you ask yourself, how do I want to be? And maybe it's the same. How do I want to be? Maybe you're very content precisely as you are. But if there's room to grow or opportunities to evolve, can you hash out a few words that you can build into your intention tonight? And then turn them into present tense statements. So if you want to be energetic, all the mothers raise their hands. If you want to be energetic, your intention would be I am energetic. Okay? If you want to be patient, your intention, your mantra for this practice would say I am patient. Can you choose just one word that embodies how you want to be? And then make that into a present tense statement and repeat it to yourself 3 times silently. Now listen or sing the sound Om just once. Inhale. Good. Gently blink open your eyes. Take your hands down into your lap. You could stay up on your bolster for butterfly pose, our first shape tonight. Or you might decide to come right down onto your bum. When I've left my socks on for practice, our nervous system starts to calm down, and that actually changes our body temperature. We get quite cold. So you can keep yourself bundled up in warm clothes for class if you'd like. For butterfly pose, take your heels about 2 feet away from your pelvis and then rearrange based on how intense this might be in your inner groin. Begin to weave your body forward. So yin is really still, right? We come into stillness and we just linger there. But before we get into that place of stillness, I'd like you to explore how your body's feeling right now after a cold, frigid, cold day. Just navigate left to right. Maybe take your spine into some flexion and extension until you can uncover or discover rather about 70% of your body's range of motion in this shape. That's your edge. That's your edge. You're not pulling yourself to get there. In fact, you're finding that place and then just residing in stillness. And depending on what's happening in your body and even your mind, you might actually need to add props under your forehead here, or maybe under either of your legs, right? So you can make each of your yin poses more restorative by adding props, more accessible by adding props. And when you get wherever you're going, take a deep breath in through your nose, breathe into your upper back body, and then exhale and soften completely. Stay here. Stay here and be completely still, beginning to see if your whole body can surrender to the floor. Your whole body can let go of effort and retreat into a place that feels so soft and so quiet that nothing could interrupt it. And this is the essence of yin yoga, is that we come into these shapes, we hold them for a few minutes each. We don't pull, we don't push, there's no ego here. It's just a softening, just a surrendering. And over time, our body starts to both create physical space to increase flexibility and range of motion. But something else happens. There's like these little sparks under our skin that burst through any energetic blockages. So all that gunk, that stuff, those cobwebs that are piling up in your mind, in your brain, they live in your body. And I believe that yin yoga can start to clean it all out. It's almost like if you've ever got your ducts cleaned in your house, it's like getting your ducts cleaned. Like that stuff that's really messy that you don't really want to do. You'd rather outsource it to literally anyone. And then you want to leave the house when it's getting done. You don't really notice the difference, but you know that something's changed when you come back into your home. And that's what we're doing, this deep cleaning of our bodies. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And every time you exhale, make it a big exhale this time. Every time you exhale, you're purging or letting go of all this stuff that's found its way in there that does not need to be there. All the negativity, all the bias, all the judgment, all the gossip, all the yucky stuff. It comes out every time you exhale. 2 more minutes here on your own. Enjoy. Please take a deep breath in Exhale, soften first your jaw, then your shoulders. Sink a little deeper. One final minute. You might flip to rest on the opposite ear if you're doing that. Please take 3 more deep breaths. Slowly, slowly walk your hands into the floor. Lift yourself up. Move any props out to the side. You might choose to be totally still and just sit between poses or lie down. That's good. You could also take your knees wide and just rock your knees from side to side. Whatever feels nice here. Let's continue to explore this forward folding action in our spine, but in this next shape called caterpillar, instead of targeting your inner groins, we'll work along your hamstrings, so the deep back line. That means I need you to take your legs and extend your legs out. Relax them when you extend them out. Let your knees flop open. Just get really, really casual and comfortable in your legs. Again, you might sit up on the edge of a bolster, especially if your body's going that way instead of forward. Take a breath in and just start to soften forward. Come to about 70% of your body's range of motion. That's your edge. I'm sure you could pull yourself a little further, but I'll ask you just to retreat and rest a little before you reach your edge, trusting that over time the shape will take you a bit deeper. And if it hurts your head or your neck to be here, you might take a bolster vertically and rest your head on the bolster. Or maybe rest your head onto a blanket. Always knowing that the point, the purpose, is to feel sensation along the deep back line of your body. So along the backs of your legs, inching along either side of your spine, right up in and around your scaly muscles of your neck. Caterpillar pose. Please take a deep breath in. Exhale, relax, slouch. Let everything sink down in this shape. And as you linger and just marinate into these sensations, can you come to your intention, that present tense statement, and start to repeat that present tense statement silently to yourself over and over and over. Stay in the pose and constantly repeat your mantra. I am. Every time your mind wanders away from it, and it will again and again and again, just start over and repeat your mantra. Really good. This shape is stimulating, in traditional Chinese medicine, your kidney and your bladder energy lines. You can imagine right around your lower back, maybe around your pelvis. And when these areas of our body are off balance, we might feel really, really full of fear So you might even consider using this shape as a metaphor for letting go of fear. Every breath in, you breathe in courage to face whatever it is you need to face. And every breath out, you breathe out fear. A little more time here on your Please take 3 more breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale, exhale. One more breath in and out. Inch by inch, start to bring your body back upright. Maybe you stay still. If your body calls for other types of movements like spinal extension or maybe a rocking of your legs left to right, go ahead and take those movements now. Straight away, place the soles of your feet back together like we had done previously in butterfly pose. But lean your weight over onto your left hip so you can take your right leg back behind you and inch your left foot across your yoga mat. There's a 90-90 shape happening here, and your shin can be a bit of a lever. You can move it in different directions. This is called deer pose. One place props come really handy here is under that right knee. So if your knee has fallen off your yoga mat, take a prop under your right knee. And now start to walk your body forward. Your torso comes forward, either to the floor or to a prop. But don't just settle here. So think about this. The intention of this stretch is to stretch your lateral hip, so your outer hip into your piriformis, which is right along the center of your bum, into your IT band, down that left side of your leg. And with that in mind, can you start to walk your body a little to the right, maybe a little to the left, on a bit of a mission to find your own sweet spot. So where do you feel the best stretch for your body, where there's no pain, there's no tingles or pins and needles or sharp sensations? But there's definitely something happening. There's tension and there's compression, right? When you find that sweet spot, you can keep your head upright or even snuggle in to your arms or your props and dip your head down. Take a breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Soft. As our practice moves along, I speak less and less, giving you an opportunity to hear more and more, right? The body starts to talk when it knows you're actually here listening and not distracted. And if you find your mind is getting really frantic, Buddhists call that monkey mind, just go back to mantra repetition. So I am peaceful, I am strong, whatever your intention. I'll pull you out of this pose in a few minutes. Until then, enjoy. Please take a deep breath in. Exhale. Option A, stay here, linger here for a little longer. Option B, if your body feels like it's opening up to this big outer hip stretch, you could transition into swan. So you might send your right leg all the way back in one long line. That right hip, knee, and ankle are all connected. As you lean your weight over onto your left hip and start to feel the stretch deepen. Now your shin could stay parallel to the top of your mat, but it doesn't have to. It can absolutely dive down on as much of an angle as you need. We'll linger wherever we've decided to go, listening to our body, not our ego, for some time here. Drop on in. Please take 3 more breaths as you are. 3 more breaths. After you've pushed out that whole third exhalation, walk your hands in towards your body. You could move into a downward dog if that feels really what your body wants right now. Or come on with your legs, bring your legs forward, and just lie down on your back. Take your feet mat distance apart, let your feet fall in towards one another. Maybe rock your head side to side and just observe the work that we've done through your hips from this point on. Take a big breath in to wake yourself up if you feel snoozy here. Open up your mouth, exhale with a ha sound. Roll onto either side or just press yourself all the way back up into butterfly pose. So the soles of your feet return back into one another. This is just our launching point to come into deer, but this time roll onto your right hip. Navigate that left leg back behind you. And readjust your shins until things feel really good here and the stretch is starting to open up through your outer hip. Right? So you can move that back shin however you want to. Once you've set up your legs, pour your torso forward by any amount. It might not be to the floor or to your elbows. You might be on your hands or on props. And go on a little ride. Scoot your body left and right until you uncover sensation that's right for you through your outer hip. It might not be as strong as it was on the other side, or it might be a lot more intense. But in yin, we really want to worry less about what the pose looks like, about matching the way our teacher looks in the pose or the demo looks in the pose. And it's more about finding the feeling that the pose is intended to give us. So once you've found that feeling, and I hope bypassed or moved away from any painful sensations like pins and needles or sharpness, then relax your torso, take a deep breath in, and exhale, soften your pelvis. So soften the area that we're targeting here along your pelvic floor down into your outer hip. A few moments on your own. Notice what's happening. Decide if you'd like to stay there, stay here, or maybe you opt to stretch your left leg back behind you, intensifying, deepening the stretch by coming into sleeping swan. Neither variation is better nor worse. They're just different poses, different shapes for different bodies. Honor where it is that you're at in your practice with this body. Soften into that place a little more time here. One more minute. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften. Keep sinking, keep surrendering. The thoughts that come in, let them come in. They're bound to do that. Imagine them like big, big clouds in a bright blue sky. They come and then they go. Sometimes they bring storms or tornadoes, big crazy weather. Sometimes they're quiet and they just pass through, but every time they pass through, Please take 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Really good. Walk your hands in towards your body. Again, you can lift yourself up into a downward facing dog, a big opposing hamstring stretch. Or just come to lie down onto your back. Maybe this time you hug your knees into your chest and notice for a few moments how everything's landing. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale out through your mouth. Press your feet into the floor. Use your hands to lift yourself back up to seated. Okay, for the next set of shapes, dragon series, I'd ask that you take a blanket and lay that blanket down, maybe double fold your blanket and lay it down about 3/4 of the way down your yoga mat. Then take whatever else you have, so bolsters, blocks, pillows, anything else you've got towards the front of your mat. You may or may not need. And come up onto all fours. Come up onto all fours. For a moment, just move through your spine. So not really cat-cow, just a few movements, undulations, vibrations of your back body starting to wake up some energy. And now with your hands and your knees about hip distance apart each, simply take your right foot and step your right foot to the outside of your left, to the outside of your right hand. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And now go onto a deep angle with your back leg. So I've lifted my back knee, my left knee, and pulled it back in space. I'm not here, right? There's no 90-90 shape in my legs. There's a big angle because we're targeting your quad, your groin, and your outer hip. If you have short arms and your hands can't quite reach the floor, that's where your stack of stuff comes in handy. You could take your bolster or your pillow right under your hands. Let's count our time here. So we'll spend a few moments in each variation of the dragon series. Soften your pelvis, lift your chest, inhale. Exhale. That's 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5 more breaths at that pace on your own. Notice how tight your jaw might be, how achy your wrists might be. And see if you can relax both those bases as we move to phase 2 of dragon. So this is winged dragon. Simply start to open your right leg out towards the right by any amount. Roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. Perhaps you come down onto your elbows. That could take some of the strain off your wrists. So we're onto fists if your wrists are hurting. You can drag your back leg back and forth to take the weight off your patella, your kneecap, so that shouldn't cause you any pain. And then the primary sensation you might be feeling here would be through your inner groin of your right leg, your outer hip of your right leg, and the front of your left thigh, your quad, your left quad. Let's breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5 more breaths, just like that, on your own, please. Brighten your eyes, open your eyes nice and wide. Slowly press your hands into the floor where your props move straight hands. Lift your weight back. So my bum is now driving towards my back heel. Walk your hands halfway down your mat and take them on either side of your front leg. Lift up your front toes. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward over your right leg. This is a counter stretch for your hamstring. Inhale. Exhale. Now simply drag that right foot all the way back and take whatever shape you need before we move on to the other side. I love to come right onto my belly and relieve the strain on my joints. There's about 5 breaths here. Take one big cleansing breath in through your nose, wherever you are, and then spew it out through your mouth with a ha sound. Press down through your hands and your knees. Lift back up onto all fours. Reset. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Take a few moments here to readjust your back leg. And just adapting this shape until you feel pretty safe and supported. 5 breaths. And 5 more breaths. You've settled in. Maybe you could relax your bum or your hips a little bit here. Soften through your right quad, your left outer hip. And now with both hands inside your left foot, heel toe your left foot out to the outside edge of your yoga mat. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. So there's this deep opening happening through your inner groin. And either stay up on your hands or come down onto your elbows. Inhale. Exhale here. Your left foot is tipping away from your mat. Inhale. Exhale, your pelvis is softening towards your mat. Inhale. Exhale, your jaw relaxes here. Inhale, the crown of your head stretches forward. Exhale, your shoulders stretch back. Inhale, your eyes are soft. Exhale, your cheeks relax. One more breath in and out. Really good. And take your time, walk your hands back up. Let's linger here for a few more breaths before we come back into our hamstring stretch. And just feel, really just notice, like, what is going on here? Where is this landing in my body? Where is this causing me strain or tension or compression? Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale with a ha. Press into your hands. Take your time. Send your hips back towards your heels. Lift your left toes high. Walk your hands to frame your left foot. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale. Exhale, soften. And then start to drag your left foot back. Take your time, take as much time as you need to move all your stuff over to either side of your yoga mat and come lie down on your back. Come lie down on your back. Actually, as you do this, you might want to keep a bolster nearby for a supported bridge pose. But first, just 5 breaths on your back. Noticing, observing, reflecting. From here, place your feet on the floor. They're not already there. They're right about beneath they're right beneath your knees rather. And then start to lift your pelvis up and take as many or as few props under your sacrum. So your sacrum is the bone at the very base of your spine, your holy bone. And there shouldn't be any pain or strain or tension in this shape. So this is far more restorative than yin. We will use the prop to take away that tension. Again, your prop on any height might mean that your hips are low, like mine are, or maybe you have a few different props here and your hips are quite high, articulating a bigger stretch through your spine and your quads. In either variation, could you start to tuck your chin in towards your chest, really allowing the back of your head to drop into the floor. Now close your eyes. And think about the word you chose for your intention. I am. And then with your eyes closed, can you just start to visualize yourself embodying that word? So if you chose the word happy, could you visualize yourself in one of your happiest moments? Maybe take yourself back to your wedding day or the day you gave birth to your child. Take yourself back to one of your happiest moments. And notice what you look like. Notice what your facial expression is. How your eyes are open or soft. What kind of words or tone of voice you'd use. Get to know yourself as that person. 2 minutes here. Really good work. Take 3 more breaths. Firm the soles of both feet into the floor so you can lift your hips up and remove whichever prop or props you had underneath of you. Hug your knees into your chest and just rock from side to side. Rock your knees all the way over towards the right. Bend at your elbows or extend and open your elbows. Find a supine spinal twist. Your gaze can turn any direction that feels good for your head and your neck. So there's no strain in your head or your neck. You're lying here with your eyes soft, breathing in and out through your nose. 2 minutes. Take just one big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, bring your knees through center. Hang out here in neutral, still or mobile. One breath. And lazily drift your knees over to the opposite direction, finding the place where your head and neck want to rest. As we move deeper and deeper through our yin practice, we also move deeper and deeper into our parasympathetic nervous system. You might notice your body cooling down. Drape a blanket over yourself if that's happening. You might notice saliva increasing as you really start to reach this state of rest and digest. This is where the good listening can happen. take your time, slither your body down into final Shavasana, corpse pose, and you might drape a whole blanket over your body if you're cold, or just take a folded blanket onto your tummy if you're feeling a little frantic or your mind is quite busy. Lie down in your Shavasana. Close your eyes. Turn your palms to face up towards the sky. Take a big breath in through your nose. Blow that breath out through your mouth. Can you practice absolute stillness and absolute silence for the final 2 minutes of our time together? I'll pull you up when your Shavasana is complete. Take a moment to scan your body and notice, how do you feel physically? How do you feel emotionally? How do you feel energetically? How do you feel spiritually? And how would you like to feel? Please take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. With a big yawn, stretch your arms up overhead, stretch your toes, shift and wiggle. And then hug your knees into your chest and roll over onto the right side of your body. Press yourself up into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Take your hands to your heart when you get there. And bow your head into your hands. Carving out the space to do this kind of practice, this slow, deep, frustrating work, I promise you, will give you so many benefits. You will sleep better, you will breathe better, you will react less quickly and intensely when things don't go your way. So thank yourself. Say thank you for the work you've done. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Inhale for 1 Om. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.